Alright, what's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Hegshot. Thank you so much for joining me as we talk about the new Caldera map. And now that I've put a few days into this game, I'm going to tell you my first impressions, if you will, and tell you everything I like, what I don't like, and what we see so far. So, man, if this is your first time stopping by, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop me a like, and let me know what you like or don't like about the new Caldera map. So let's start with the map itself. Of course, this is set in the Pacific Theater, although there is a reference whenever you first launch it to the Nazis. So how this plays in with the European theater, we have yet to see there, but I think that's kind of interesting. Of course, you're not going to see any swastikas or anything like that in the game because it is totally SJW approved. We've already talked about that. All right, so now in the campaign, to be fair, they actually do keep it kind of semi-accurate. There are swastikas and stuff like that. So they at least make an attempt there, but then they totally blow it with characters and all that kind of. But anyways, we're talking about Caldera, remember? Don't get too far off the beaten path here, Heg. So the map itself is totally different from Verdansk, obviously, and that's what we kind of wanted, right? I mean, it's been a year and a half, almost 2 years in Verdansk. Awesome map. This one's obviously different, man. A lot brighter, although there is a lot of smoke that comes down from the mountain and stuff, so you will get these hazy type of areas. But other than that, I mean, it looks like it's set in Pacific Theater, so it's super bright, just really nice looking map. I mean, actually pretty stunning map. So one thing about this, about each area that I've visited so far is that you have multiple elevation points, and then you have multiple ways that you can get inside of buildings. You have multiple ladders or ways to access a building that you didn't have in Verdansk, where you could really find a building and just sit there and people couldn't get to you, or you would have to use a car trick to be able to jump through a window. Here, there are a lot of different ways to get in and around buildings, so it's pretty awesome in that respect. You also have a lot of open areas that you can snipe, a lot of close quarters that you could, bust out the SMG. You have the Capitol downtown with a lot of buildings in there. And then you have areas where you have a lot of little huts that you have to watch out for people in. You have bridges. You have elevation. So this is one of the things that I was concerned with is, are we going to have elevation here? And we definitely do, man. The landscape is vast, and it is littered with different ways to get around the map. Of course, there's zip lines, so it's very well thought out in that respect. I absolutely love the map. I think it's a blast so far, and really, I don't even feel like I've scratched the surface on this map. Let's talk about the weapons, man, because this is a big part of it, dude. The STG-44, Kar98K, NZ-41, MP-40. These are the guns, man. The Cooper Carbine is pretty cool, too. Some of the weapons are amazing. Some of them need some work. Okay, so there's that. I personally like the Vanguard Royale. I like the fact that everybody's using the same weapons, and the weapons are challenging. I like that. They don't all need to be tac drivers and lasers. I think there needs to be a little bit of balance there where if you get out of line and you kind of get a little wild with the trigger there, then you're going to pay for that. And I like that aspect of it. So that's one thing that I really enjoy with this is that they're not all tac drivers. And if you find an STG, you might get the blob version of the STG. So it's not like you're just going to start wrecking anyways. And if you don't know what the blob is, you're seeing it right now. It's a part of the glitches that we haven't got to yet. But the STG seems to be the most affected gun, which is wild considering it is the best gun in the game. And a couple of other guns that I have to mention to y'all is the Bren. That's the one where the magazine actually sits up top. That allowed for easier firing while in the prone position. That's a legit gun. Also, the Type 100 and the Sten, the SMGs, man, where the magazine goes in on the side, absolutely shredders. And then also, I think it's the automation or AS50 or whatever it is, really, really awesome. I actually picked up a special blueprint version of that right out of the box in one of the loot boxes, dude, and it absolutely shreds. It's got a lot of a recoil to it, so you got to keep that under control, but man, that thing really is a shredder. And also with your guns, whenever you die in the gulag, you actually come back with that gun if you win your gulag, you come back into the map with that same gun that you had in the gulag, which is kind of a cool addition. The weapons, I absolutely love them, but I'm a fan of this period too. I just like the fact that it takes a little bit more skill and a little bit more thinking when you're using these weapons. Like, hey, I just can't lay down the trigger on the trigger and expect to get all of my shots on target. Really love the weapons here. Contracts are pretty much, kind of like the same. They just look different. I mean, you have the scavengers and big game bounties now, which is pretty cool, which hunts the top KD player in the map. Your bounties, your supply drops, things like that. You will get random, I forget what they call them in the game, but it's got like the green smoke. It looks like a loadout. You'll get random things like that drop in. You, of course, have the cash drops that are there as soon as you go into the map. So there's a lot of different things going on. Also, you will get these random cluster strikes, and it's not just a series of cluster strikes like somebody sent it. It will be just one cluster strike. So be on the lookout for these. It kind of throws you off guard, like, holy crap, I have somebody around me. And then we started to figure out yesterday, like, these just drop in randomly. But it adds more immersion to it, which I actually enjoy. I appreciate that, man. They've kind of added a little spice to it, if you will. And speaking of that, you also have gas canisters, metal gas cans around the map that you can light a fuse and throw them. You can actually even put them on your zip lines, so you can attach them there. So if somebody's at the top of an overlook with a zip line on it, you attach it to that and then get it to the top, and you can actually explode it to get them off of that thing. So really cool. I love those little things that they've added into the game there. Sounds and movement, we'll combine these two. The sounds from the overhead dogfighting and especially your precisions and things like that, I absolutely love that. It's so legit sounding. Really nice job there. The guns just seem to be muffled a little bit, I guess I could say. But I'm sure that's something that they will probably fix. I guess. I don't know. I know Modern Warfare, the sounds and gun movements and all that was just amazing in that game. Movement, it feels a little bit different. I can't say that I've really noticed any. When I first turned it on and I got in my first game, I was like, man, this feels different. And then immediately I got used to it. One thing back on the guns just here really quick. Again, you're going to have some really funky looking attachments and guns in this game because you got to think most guns at this period were using iron sights. There were some optics and stuff back then, don't get me wrong, but most of your assault rifles and your SMGs and things, although there wasn't a lot of assault rifles per se, but your SMGs and things weren't using optics readily available. So anyways, they've found ways to attach these that may or may not been used back in the day. Okay, so just keep that in mind that it's not totally accurate as far as that. Let's talk about the glitches because there's been quite a few of these, and the blob is the main one I've seen where you pick up the gun and it's just a big blob. You may be able to see your sights, you may not be able to. Super annoying. I've even had the blob just randomly grow on my guns throughout the map, and it's an annoying thing, but we've seen this before, right? So hopefully they fix that very soon. And then also glitches as far as one time I dropped in and I thought it was the Minecraft edition of Warzone where there was no definition. I could see under the map. I could see boxes that my buddy had opened, Big Earn. It was just very weird. We had to back out and just go back into it. Other than that, I haven't really seen a whole lot, but it's been like a glitchy type of opening experience. Over the past day, it seems like it may be getting better, but you're going to get thrown into lobbies where it's just super glitchy and kind of buggy. Now, when I first started this thing up, it was actually really buggy. Like I would go to make my loadout and it would freeze up my entire PlayStation. So there is some of that too. Keep that in mind. Vehicles, you can fly around in the Vanguard Royale, which is pretty cool. My first experience with that did not go well, and I actually made a short on that. I ended up putting the plane and myself into the ground, but you do have that option in Vanguard Royale to fly planes, do some dogfighting, maybe strafe some enemies, whatever, dude. It's actually really cool, and it just adds to the experience. your cars and stuff, the Jeep that I got into, it seems pretty robust, easy to drive, just like in Verdansk. Just maybe a little bit slower, and then of course you do have your Bertha-like vehicles as well that you can get around in. Speaking of Vanguard Royale, to me, this is the way to go, dude. This is the way to go. You keep everybody on the same playing field. I understand people have bought blueprints from Cold War and Modern Warfare, but I love the fact that everybody's on the same playing field. That's what I plan to spend most of my time playing is exclusively Vanguard Royale. I want the experience of the World War II game in the World War II map, but that's just me. I may be in the minority there, but I like that option anyways. The circle and the way it closes and the gas and all that, it's as brutal as it's ever been, although they talk about how your gas mask won't impede on so many of your movements, and I have found that to be pretty much the case, although I haven't been caught by the gas too much yet. It moves super quick in the first one. It seems like it actually kind of moves quicker throughout the whole experience. Just as far as the circles closing in and the gas moving. Also, you have your loadouts. They don't drop until you can't buy one, and of course, they don't drop until the very first circle closes. So this changes things, but because the ground loot, generally speaking, you can get some pretty good ground loot. It hasn't really affected how we played, and there is so much money in this game, dude. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but man, there is a ton of money. And Big Earn was saying, yeah, but everything's more expensive and you can't get a loadout and stuff. And I said, yeah, I get it, but it seems like there's way more money being given out, so you can buy loadouts, self-revives, all of that right after the first circle. You can buy a loadout, self-revive, UAVs, precision, be good to go for the rest of the game. There is a ton of money, and I don't know if it's glitched or what, but there's a bunch of money out there. Love the cool little animation whenever you drop in. Your plane's been hit. Now you got to ditch out over the Pacific map Caldera there, and I kind of like the new little intro there. And also, the gulag is different. It's simple. I like it. Awesome job on the gulag, dude. It moves quick, and it's simple. Really like the gulag and what they've done with that. So you also have water and things like that can, kind of play into how you move and mountains and stuff that are hard to traverse. So there's different things like that to kind of keep you on your toes. And I think the environment, the map, everything so far, I really love it, dude. I appreciate what they've done here. I think it's a nice job. Of course, you do have all your things that you can buy in the game and all that stuff. That's probably never going to go away. But so far, from what they've done, especially compared to Vanguard, because Vanguard multiplayer and even single player, not a huge fan of it. Warzone is kind of what I do anyways. That's kind of my thing. So we'll stay in that wheelhouse for right now. I personally like what they've done here, dude. Awesome map and everything we just talked about. I would really love to hear what your opinions are on the new map. What do you think? Guns, whatever you like, whatever you don't like. Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.